Good morning. Welcome back to Chippo Fishing. I've reached 150 subscribers. I'd like to say thank you for one and all, and your views, subscriptions, of course, liking, sharing, talking about it. I'm out here trying to share the passion, trying to pass my passion on. So hopefully my viewers will start talking to their buddies about fishing. I want to get you up off your couch and get you out there. Fishing is just awesome, and crappie fishing is even more awesome. Constantly changing conditions, so it's got to be a thinking game too. But the fish are going to tell you what they want. The fish are going to tell you what you want, so you got to vary your depths, vary your colors. You don't have to, but it helps using some good quality electronics. Myself, I've got Raymarine electronics, and I believe in them. Right now we're at 84.4 degrees on the temperature, and it looks like it's probably going to pick up a degree or two later on today with the sun and the heat. So all right, we're getting out there. Thanks again, and from the home lake, welcome. And the littlest crappie. Healthy population. First fish of the day. Oh, put a cork on. What'd I catch? Oh, little crappie. Not the keeper we want. Oh, just turned loose with the sickle hook. Ain't but 9.5 inches. Well, 9.5. All right, little guy, growing up. Casting a jig, and little guy with shoulders. Little bass. All right, you gotta eat some more to grow up to be a 5-pounder. All right, getting ready to tie a little loop knot. I've threaded it through the eye of my jig. I pull out about 6-8 inches of line, and you want to inspect that line to make sure there's no kinks or bad spots or rough spots in it. You hate to lose a big fish all because of equipment error. So I'm gonna let it dangle there. Take 2 fingers, put up close to the jig, make a loop, put these 2 together, make a loop. Now I'm gonna do 3 basically overhand knots. I'm gonna stick this hook through here. Now you can go through the head first. I like going through the hook because the hook, it comes through easy, and you know you got that part out of it. You can spread your fingers apart at this time. 1, 2, 3. You don't want to have too big of a loop, because a lot of times that'll hang up. And then you take your fingers out, and you want to sort of pull both lines at about the same time. I like to start my tag in a little bit first. And if you see, there's a little figure 8 there when you're starting to pull. So you don't want it to get caught up on your eye. You pull it out a little bit, and then I'm pulling tension on this line and then on my tag end. Now that's a little bit far for me, so I'm going to try to cheat it a little bit and push it down. So there you go. And that's about right. It's a little bit long. I'm going to cut my tag end off. And when you put your bait on your jig body, you try to be about as consistent as you can, and making it look lifelike. If you bear with me in 1 minute, I'm gonna put a little bluegrass, Bobby Garland bluegrass on here. Right in the middle here is a mold where the where it was made with the mold mark. So I'm gonna go right there in the center, right here in the center, and I'm gonna push it on until it starts curving up a little bit, right there at the curve. And I'm gonna come through, and it's important to get right here in the middle of the top section of the tail. And the reason for that is so that it swims true and looks more lifelike. This jig has a barb on here that helps keep your jig on, and I'll push down on that a little bit, and there you go. Now with that loop knot, without, it's hanging right here, but it'll float parallel in the water, which will give you a little more lifelike action, and that's what the fish are looking for. Hopefully we can find some today. Thank you, folks. A little Chippo tip. All right, a little before Ultrex video, before and after. This is before. I've got the Minn Kota all-terrain. It's probably 45-pound thrust cable steer, which if left alone, the torque has a tendency to pull it either right or left. It's fully down and adjusted. It's sort of difficult to get onto a brush pile with wind and current. You've got to really work hard. And if you're going to be fishing brush piles or even spider rigging, boat control is a must. So I've got this and got my Raymarine electronics here. We're going to try to find a brush pile and stay on the brush pile. It's light breeze today, so it shouldn't be that difficult, but you may have to, if you don't have a nice trolling motor, and your trolling motor, you got to use what you got. So you come up there and come close to it, and then come up against the wind to hold it. Otherwise, you're just going to blow right over top of it. So boat control is a key. Okay, I've marked a little some structure. I knew where it was, so I'm switching my trolling motor to the button foot control to go where I want. Now this is the hard part, trying to stay on the brush pile. You might have to circle around, try to come back upwind and drift over top, and then circle around, if that's what it takes to get over top of that brush pile and maybe catch a fish. Now I've passed that brush pile, so I'm gonna have to turn around here. We're gonna try to drift back over top of it. Trying to utilize my trolling motor as much as possible. Okay, there's another piece of brush. Looks like it may have a fish beside it. And another piece of structure. Doesn't look like it's got very many fish on it, but this is just an exercise to show you how difficult trolling motor without spot lock is to stay on it. All right, thank you from Chippo Fishing. All right, thanks again for joining us in Chippo Fishing. The bite was pretty tough today, hot sun, but I gave it a try. Actually, I'm leaving earlier. Hostile boater. Yeah, it's not that big of a lake, but it's big enough that you don't have to come right at me every run when you're pulling the tube. So instead of creating conflict or creating trouble, I'm just gonna pull up and go on home. But that's all right. That's all on them. Thanks, folks. I appreciate you joining me. I was out here fishing. That's awesome. That's awesome. I got up off that couch and gave it a try. I caught like 4 little dinks, but you know what? It was fun. Conditions 84 degrees, and in the water, a few scattered marked fish on the bottom. Thermocline, the lake has turned over this last week, so the non-oxygen layer of water has risen to the top, so more of the fish are going to be down lower. All right, thanks again, folks. I appreciate you.